The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, and welcome to the Omron Microscan Bundle Launch Webinar with Felix Klebe and Alan Cias. A note for our listeners, please submit questions in the question pane on the right-hand side of your screen. We won't be taking questions live today, but Felix and Alan will get back to you after the call. With that, I'll hand you over to Felix.
Good morning. My name is Felix Klebe. I'm a product manager at OEI for Auto ID and verification products. And I'm happy to be able to provide to you this morning an update on new products coming from Omron in the area of Auto ID and machine vision. If we look at the agenda for today, we'll be learning about several new products, including the HS360X, the ID45, the V780S, the LVS 9580 and 85 HD. And finally, Alan Cias will be providing an overview on the Hawk MV4000 machine vision smart camera. So let's learn first about the HS360X and what is it? It's an ultra rugged, next generation direct part mark handheld scanner, providing from the ground up a new capability that sets the standard for durability and performance in important industries such as automotive, aerospace, and electronics. If we look at some of the features of the HS360X, there are two versions, a wired and a wireless version. Looking first at the wired version, you can see some of the key capabilities: a rugged polycarbonate housing, a ergonomic grip, bumpers to provide protection to the base, a scratch-resistant window, and the USB connectivity in two lengths of cables. In the future, will have Ethernet. At this point, it is serial connectivity back to a PC. The wireless version features the same rugged housing for the scanner itself. In addition, we have Bluetooth 4.0 to connect to a base. The base then connects serially back to a PC. The charging cradle is IP65. And then we have a variety of options in terms of additional batteries, a battery charger. You can see the Bluetooth and battery status icons on the top of the scanner itself. Looking at some of the capabilities, one of the key features with direct part marks is the ability to provide advanced lighting and decoding algorithms. Omron has leveraged the strong algorithms from the Microscan technology that allow for consistent and reliable decoding of difficult marks, which we often find in direct part mark applications, surfaces that could be shiny, reflective, irregular, recessed, curved, different types of direct marking technology, whether it be laser etch, dot peen, or other styles of marking. So we are able to provide both direct and indirect illumination and cycle between those. The X mode decoding algorithm is based off of the Microscan MicroHawk line of readers, providing best-in-class decoding performance, and excels at reading a huge variety of direct part marks out of the box without additional setup. From a ruggedness standpoint, the HS360X is intended to survive an 8-foot drop, and based off of information available from competitor units, we believe provides significant advantages when it comes to durability. Testing has indicated reliable operation with over 5,000 falls from a height of 1 meter. From an IP protection standpoint, it is designed to withstand heavy washdown and airborne dust. The wired version provides IP65 protection, the wireless IP67, and the charging and communication cradle also has IP65 protection. From a chemical resistance standpoint, the housing materials are resisting common industrial cleaning chemicals, and the unit is rated to operate at ambient temperatures as low as minus 30 degrees centigrade. If we look at some of the specifications on the wireless, we are able to communicate Bluetooth class 1 with a range up to 100 meters in its high power mode, under class 2, which is low power, communication of 10 meters distance. The Wi-Fi friendly mode for connectivity eliminates wireless interference with your Wi-Fi WLAN system. And then finally, from a operation standpoint, we do have what's called a smart battery technology, which provides significantly extended battery life compared with competitor units. And as mentioned earlier, the onboard LEDs give you a visual indication of how much remaining battery life is with the scanner. The Hawk WebLink PC is a derivative of the popular WebLink program, which is used for configuration of many of the Microscan readers, specifically the Microhawk. We've taken that technology and ported it over to a PC configuration program, which for users who are familiar with the Microscan WebLink for fixed mount readers will allow them to very quickly set up and tune, if needed, the HS360X. So you can see some of the capabilities, including what we call device discovery to find and locate specific units on a network, and then the ability to, via the HMI, see the real-time image, the data output, and numerous performance indicators which can help someone determine how the system is operating. So the WebLink PC, again, will be very familiar to users who have used WebLink in the past for other Microscan scanners. If we look at some of the performance specs when it comes to decoding of symbols, you can see here that we're confidently able to decode very small symbols with data matrix down to a 4 mil module size, and then the 1D symbols such as code 39 down to about a 3 mil X dimension on that 1D symbol. In general, as it is a direct part mark scanner where lighting control is essential, this is for what we consider close range applications out to approximately 6 inches in distance from the mark to the scanner itself. We are also able to scan labels. However, for the most value that you would want to provide to a customer, you should be looking for applications where direct part marks are used on a regular basis. Let's take a quick look at the HS360X accessories. The accessories include the cabling, an external battery charger with spare batteries, and finally the HS360X stand. Taking a look at part numbers, there are two main categories of the reader, as mentioned earlier, the wired and the wireless version. On the left side, you can see the selection needed if you're using the wired version, which is the HDS 3608-0001. With the wired version, the only required selection is the cord set. So you can see there are 3 available cord sets. So after choosing your wired unit, you would then select whether you're using the tube meter, the 4.6 meter, or the DB9 version, which is also 2 meter. On the right side, you can see the selection path when using the wireless. So the wireless version is the HDS 3678-0001. Next, you would choose the cradle, and that's again for charging the unit and holding the unit. After a cradle selection is made, you have the option to either power the unit through a USB connection to a PC or use a USB external powered charger. If an external powered charger is selected, then you would choose the power cord for that particular unit in terms of which region you are located in. For the Americas, we will be stocking the first item on the list, which is the US type plug. And then at the bottom of the chart here, you can see the part number for the stand. Quick look at the competitor models that you may run into. So you can see Keyence, Datalogic, Cognex, and Zebra, and some of the comparisons. So in summary, the strong IP protection, the battery wireless technology we mentioned, the ability to effectively decode difficult marks through the X mode decoding technology coming from Microscan. Those are all some of the key aspects of differentiation compared with competitor models. Okay, next we're going to move over to a new fixed mount reader, the Microhawk ID45. The ID45 is our next generation of high performance fixed mount imagers. We're essentially extending the Microhawk line with this ID45, providing additional lighting that improves performance in close range, direct part mark, as well as high speed applications. Some of the markets and applications for the ID45 would be consumer electronics, various components and cases that would be used for assembling into a variety of applications in the consumer electronics space. We find that many of those marks are becoming very, very small. So as we look at some of the technology available in the Microhawk line, such as the UHD optics, we are able to decode symbols down as small as 2 mil. And the ID45 provides that additional lighting, which can help in those applications where the marking, either the technology or the substrates, require extra lighting to be able to fully see and decode those very small marks. In the medical space, we have a variety of implantable devices. You can see them listed here. Hardware that gets used with those implantable devices, where again, the symbol size becomes very, very small, down to that 2 mil, 2/1000th of an inch module size. So instruments, dental tools, surgical tools, these are all being marked to comply with some of the latest regulations from the FDA. And the ability to read those parts in the manufacturing process becomes critical from a track and trace standpoint. So you can see here again some of those applications. We also have in the past sold a previous line of fixed mount scanner called the QX Hawk. The QX Hawk was discontinued in early 2018. So there are applications where customers are migrating from QX Hawk to the Microhawk, and the ID45 gives some additional capability for those applications where extra lighting may be needed. If we compare ourselves with ID45 versus the prior QX Hawk, we believe from a decoding reliability and performance standpoint that we have significant advantages. The autofocus technology with the liquid lens is an important capability in the ID45 that extends over from the rest of the Microhawk line. The latest X mode algorithms, similar to what we talked about with the HS360X, provide capabilities to decode those difficult direct part marks and damaged code type applications. The lighting, as we mentioned, is significantly enhanced versus ID45. So we have 24 onboard LEDs compared with the 8 LEDs of the ID40. And if we do a comparison compared with the QX Hawk, you can see at about a 2-inch, 50-millimeter working distance, 60% additional lux or lighting output that we would have with the ID45. We have standard red and white, and in the future we plan to extend to additional blue and IR type lighting. From an optics standpoint, there are two sensors, the WVGA as well as the SSGA with up to 100 inches per second linear speed for dynamic applications. You can see the different configurations in terms of optics, the HD and the UHD, and some of the autofocus working range with those two optics. As part of the release of ID45, we've updated WebLink 1.3. 1.3 has 3 additional modes that are significant, and this will be extending across the entire Microhawk portfolio. So first we have Power Strobe. That's used for providing extra, we'll call short bursts of additional lighting output for dynamic applications. Second will be the fast linear mode with improved 1D reading at high speeds. And then finally, a mode called continuous rapid capture, which is used again for dynamic applications where we're capturing at a very high rate multiple images in order to get the images which are needed to provide us decoding successfully and reliably in high-speed applications. From a competitive standpoint, the ID45 you can see positioned against readers here from Keyence, Cognex, and Datalogic. Again, some of the advantages you can see in terms of the range of optics as well as the illumination. As with the ID40, from a communication standpoint, we are able to communicate with either serial, Ethernet TCP/IP, Profinet, or Ethernet IP. Some of the key takeaways from the ID45: significantly advanced illumination compared to the ID40. So again, for those applications, whether they be tricky marks, perhaps recessed marks where we need to force extra light down into a cavity, or high-speed applications, those can all benefit from the additional illumination provided by the ID45. As we mentioned, QX Hawk phased out early 2018. Significant advantages for those legacy customers who've used QX Hawk and now need to migrate over to the Microhawk line. And then finally, WebLink 1.3 associated with this launch provides significant new features, in particularly for dynamic applications with the Power Strobe, rapid linear mode, and continuous rapid capture modes available. Descriptions of these features are available in more detail in the documentation, which we will talk about later. Okay, now we want to switch over to the third new product of this spotlight, and that is the V780 ultra-high frequency integrated RFID reader writer. The V780 was a new model introduced by Omron in the fall of 2017. At time of launch, the connectivity that was available was Ethernet TCP/IP and Modbus TCP. Particularly for the North American market, we recognized that Ethernet IP was a critical communication capability that needed to be added to the line. Therefore, we have now completed the development and launch of an Ethernet IP version of that V780 ultra-high frequency RFID product launched in the fall of 2017. So as a recap, the V780 is a long-range, all-in-one system that includes the reader-writer technology integrated with an antenna and the IP-protected cable connections. This allows for a simple, clean connection without multiple devices or components having to be mounted and interconnected. Many features in this product, one of which I'll mention here is the programmable LEDs for a quick status indication. Depending upon the environment, you may have good reading that is intermixed with poor reading or even misreads, all contingent upon environmental conditions, perhaps the condition of the tag or the part that is being presented near the reader. So that visual indication is important for an operator in order to see that perhaps a tag was not able to be read. One of the key features of not just the V780, but also the V680 line from Omron is the ability to use a simple browser-based configuration software that provides not just status and configuration, but also data logging for future analysis. So you can see in the lower left part of this slide a typical configuration for connecting a reader to a host device, either through the Ethernet IP or the Modbus TCP or the Ethernet TCP IP. The cabling and power supplies, which we had introduced as part of the V780 line, continues to be able to be used in addition to the tags. So a customer who has already purchased V780 and wants to perhaps extend their line or add an additional line using the Ethernet IP version is able to use the same cabling, tags, and power supply that they have used in the past for V780. Let's recap a little bit some of the advantages of RFID and specifically the UHF style RFID. Difficult environments where data needs to be collected and captured or modified through the writing capabilities of the tags. We have up to 6 meter transmission distance. That's a feature of UHF type technology, as opposed to the near contact distances that are capable for the HF line, such as the V680. So RFID, of course, provides non-line of sight reading capabilities not available with barcodes. Additional applications where RFID makes sense are those high temperature applications such as paint and weld, where the capabilities of the reader as well as a high temperature tag allow you to use this in those difficult environments. And then finally, where there are cutting fluids or other potential contaminants that would impact the ability to read a barcode on a label, are good applications for RFID. If we look at some of the specific applications, you can see them listed here. We have automotive chassis tracking, pallet and rack tracking applications where we're able to read up to 64 tags at once as they move near the reader. Inventory control, work in process tracking, as we are able to read and write on the fly. We can, through the PLC interface, provide information both back to the ERP system or automation system, and then write information after a process has been completed back to that tag to keep track of the work that has been completed. Sortation systems, obstructed view identification, as mentioned earlier, where we don't have line of sight. And then finally, error proofing to confirm prior to a machining process that given the type of product that is being presented to the machine, we are using perhaps the correct tool with that machine for the next process on that particular part. So these are all typical applications for RFID that can be pursued with the V780 line. From a competition standpoint, in the Americas, one of our most common competitors we'll run into is Balluff. And this particular model here is their UHF model, the BIS U6026. You can see some of the features provided by Balluff and some of the weaknesses with Balluff and some of our strategies on how to sell specifically against that competitor. More information is available in a competitive overview product line comparison that we have for the V780. Okay, our last product that we'll be talking about today is a new verifier, which is for barcode and direct part mark applications. It's an extension of the popular LVS 9580 and LVS 9585 offering. And these are new optics that have been added to that portfolio, which allow us to read X dimensions or 2D module sizes down to 2 mil. As we talked about earlier, one of the trends in both electronics and medical is smaller and smaller marks. So the ability to verify the quality of those marks is important, and this new extension of the LVS 9580 and 9585 allow us to reach those very small applications. The laser marking technology from Omron and others is trending such that you can mark successfully down to those very, very small X dimension sizes, and that's becoming important for applications where the physical space available on those parts is limiting the size of how large we can make those 2D type symbols. We have actually in the medical space a GS1, which is a issuing agency for FDA, and GS1 has in their specification a table 7 that defines the allowable marking requirements for medical devices, and they are allowing symbols as small as 3.9 mil module size. Up till now, the smallest X dimension, which the LVS 9580 and 85 could successfully verify, were in the 6 mil range. So with this newer table 7 requirement down to 3.9 mil, it's become important that customers who are marking that small use a verifier which can consistently provide a grade at X dimensions as small as 3.9 mil. And in the electronic space, we see it even smaller, closer to the 2 mil size. So again, from an application standpoint, in addition to medical and electronic, we do have automotive and aerospace. We talked about earlier some of the automotive applications for direct part mark. We do also see some emerging or new markets for direct part mark, such as use of QR technology on foil for food packaging. So those, again, are all applications where you can benefit from having a new verifier that is able to successfully grade those symbols with those very small direct part mark type dimensions. So what is the availability status of these new products? We have in the table here listed the different products and where we are in terms of having them available for order. So the HS360X is now available for order along with the V780 and the LVS 9580 and 85. The ID45 is in the process of being registered within JDE. We anticipate that it will be set up by August 13th. So look for more information through your customer care group in terms of part numbers and the details of those individual availability dates. In terms of marketing support, our partners often will create their own campaigns or information that they may be posting on their local websites, and we would certainly welcome the opportunity to provide information that might be helpful for those local campaigns. You will see further product information for all the products that we've presented so far today on my dashboard under the new product releases area. For specific product promotional support for our partners, Omron is developing tools such as email campaign templates and other materials for those authorized partners to leverage. Many of you know the contact for that would be Natalia Debalchuk. I've listed her information here. So that wraps up the first 4 products. With that, I would like to turn it over to Alan Cias to learn more about the Hawk MV4000.
Thank you, Felix. Today, I wanted to take the time to introduce the new Hawk MV4000 and the latest version of AutoVision. As you will see in this webinar, the Hawk MV4000 is setting the new standard for the next generation of industrial smart cameras. The new Hawk MV4000 brings a powerful and versatile smart camera to the Omron Vision portfolio. The MV4000 is a compact, ruggedized vision solution running at near PC speeds. Additionally, it is a much more robust solution than a PC and much less costly to maintain. Omron now offers an even more comprehensive lineup of vision products to meet any application challenge. Whether the application calls for robot guidance, high-speed inspection, or maximum read rates on barcodes, the MV4000 can be tailored to the task at hand. The MV4000 is a high-performance all-in-one smart camera achieving up to 240 frames per second. This next-generation technology packs 4 times the processing power and 6 times the frame rates of the previous generation. With the C-mount capability, various lenses can be used to achieve the desired optical characteristics. The optional lens cap can offer an IP67 rating when the MV4000 is exposed to harsh environments. Multiple sensor resolutions are available, ranging from 0.3 megapixels to 5 megapixels. The MV4000 is enhanced by the flexibility of the digital I/O and communication protocols. Through the digital I/O, an external strobe output can be used along with a trigger in. There are also 3 digital inputs and outputs. Setting up communication between the camera and other equipment is a quick and simple process. AutoVision is a web-based software that reduces the need for the user to open up a manual to learn how to program vision tools. You do not need to be a machine vision professional to integrate the Hawk MV4000 into your application. The software is designed with ease of use in mind. With a user interface featuring image-centric drag-and-drop programming, you'll be using the vision, reading, and code verification tools right out of the box. If you're highly experienced in the machine vision technology, you'll see that this smart camera never sacrifices its flexibility to maintain an intuitive design. In general, the AutoVision user interface will be the way to set up the vision system. But the VisionScape UI can also be used to add special capabilities where required. The options for the MV4000 allow you to fully accessorize based on the requirements of the application. As mentioned previously, you can select an objective lens for a specific field of view or working distance, or even resolution. There are many options for smart lighting, cabling, and mounting to meet your application's needs. Here are some of the most commonly ordered part numbers of the MV4000 along with their list price, ranging from approximately $5,000 to $8,000. There are color and monochrome types with varying resolutions that you can select from. This product line has been fully launched and all part numbers are online and available for purchase. The latest version of software, AutoVision, is version 5.0.1 and was released on August 1st. Next, we will illustrate and discuss some of the applications the Hawk MV4000 can be used for. The MV4000 can be used to learn a pattern of an object, using the image of this pattern to determine the x, y, and theta of the object. We can then easily output this information to a robot while tracking the conveyor encoder to pick up the object at the correct location while it is in motion. The MV4000 software can overcome challenges such as 360 degrees rotation, allow for scale changes, lighting invariance, and see patterns through clutter of other patterns. Using the MV4000's ability to count pixels, we can utilize the presence-absence tool to determine whether critical components and features are on the part. In this example, the tool is looking for an O-ring in the center of the fuel filter by making sure there are enough white pixels. A tolerance threshold can be set to determine a pass-fail condition or even output the number of pixels that make up a particular feature. With the MV4000, the counting tool can be used to count the number of shapes found. The tolerance can be set to judge against a maximum and minimum value and output a pass-fail condition, the number of shapes found, or the locations of each individual shape. Color matching and color IDing are important features of the MV4000. Colors can be identified from a library of colors or compared to another color. Similar to the 2 previous discussed tools, a threshold can be set and compared to a pixel count to determine a result. Measurement is similar to pixel counting. If we know the size of a pixel, we can determine location of points within the field of view. We can use this to locate a feature's position, perform measurements such as distances between points or points to a line. We can calibrate the pixels on the screen to match real-world measurements such as millimeters or inches. And again, we can set a tolerance bandwidth around the result and judge against it to obtain a pass-fail or measurement result. The MV4000 also has a comprehensive and robust 1D and 2D code reading capability. Here are a few examples of various barcodes that the MV4000 can easily read with very high read rates. The MV4000 also has the ability to read multiple barcodes within a single field of view. Many competitors cannot currently accomplish this. Not only does the MV4000 have standard 1D and 2D barcode reading capability, but it also has the ability to perform code verification and validation at very high speeds. Verification is used to analyze the code dot by dot or line by line and then grade it relative to an ISO standard. This method also requires a specific illumination setup. Validation uses the same tool but does not require a specific light setup and can be used to determine if the marks or codes will be readable down the line. The MV4000 has fonts that are built in as well as trainable within the OCR tools. The OCR tool is very robust and can handle common problems in the practice such as illumination variations, low contrast, poor backgrounds, and rotated text. The MV4000 also has the ability to utilize OCV, or optical character verification. This tool can be used to determine how well a specific character conforms to a desired character. For example, we can compare the trained D character to the inspected D character, and the result of the missing section, labeled as residue here. The missing portion of the D in this case is calculated to be 65 pixels and roughly 22% of the entire character. Here is a chart that illustrates the Omron Microscan offering versus the Cognex lineup. As you can see, the MV4000 is competitively priced within the marketplace and outperforms the competition. For additional resources on the MV4000, head out to omron247.com and go to My Dashboard and search for MV4000. There you will find the product brochure, product presentation, MV4000 configuration document, a quick start guide, the user manual, and more.